What happens when a beloved country legend, known for grace, warmth, and Southern dignity, is pushed one step too far on live television? What happens when a playful conversation turns sharp, when a joke turns into an insult, and millions of viewers witness a moment that was never supposed to happen? What happens when Reba McEntire, a woman who built her legacy on respect, humility, and resilience, finds herself face-to-face with a comment that goes beyond humor and straight into disrespect? It began like any other segment on the show: bright lights, warm greetings, a cheerful intro. Reba sat comfortably, smiling politely, ready to talk about her music, her journey, and the Southern values that shaped her life. But within minutes, the tone began to shift. Laughter quieted. Smiles tightened. The room seemed to lean in, sensing something was about to crack. Joy Behar, known for her edgy, sometimes abrasive humor, tossed out a remark meant to get a quick laugh. But this one wasn't just a joke, it was a jab. Targeted swipe at Southern culture, wrapped in sarcasm and delivered with a smirk. The audience chuckled at first, but that laughter died fast when they saw Reba's face. Her expression didn't turn angry, it turned disappointed. And somehow, that made the moment even heavier. What happens next is the reason this moment went viral. Reba didn't shout. She didn't argue. She didn't clap back with insults of her own. Instead, she made a decision so bold, so unexpected, that the entire studio froze. She ended the segment right there, right then, and walked out with the kind of quiet, undeniable power only a true Southern icon carries. The segment began with an easy, upbeat energy. Reba McEntire arrived on set wearing her signature warm smile, charming the audience from the moment she took her seat. The hosts welcomed her enthusiastically, praising her long career, her iconic voice, and her influence on country music. Everything seemed perfectly routine, the kind of friendly conversation viewers expected from a daytime talk show. Reba spoke fondly about her recent projects, her upbringing in Oklahoma, and the lessons the South taught her: hospitality, humility, and resilience. The audience responded with soft applause, appreciating her sincerity and grounded personality. Even Joy Behar appeared engaged at first, playfully asking about tour life and Southern traditions. For a moment, it felt like a wholesome, light-hearted interview. But as the conversation shifted toward cultural differences, the atmosphere began to change. Reba continued speaking with grace, but Joy grew noticeably more sarcastic, slipping in quick remarks that carried a hint of sharpness. The comments weren't harsh enough to cause an immediate reaction, but they were pointed enough to raise a few eyebrows among the audience. Reba handled each one with a gentle laugh, choosing politeness over confrontation, but the tension was slowly building beneath the surface. The camera caught subtle glances exchanged between the co-hosts, the kind that suggested discomfort. Something was shifting, no one knew it yet, but the next few minutes would transform a simple interview into one of the most unexpected walkouts in daytime television. The turning point arrived without warning. As Reba finished describing the importance of Southern community values, Joy leaned forward with a smirk, clearly preparing to drop a punchline. The studio grew unusually quiet, almost as if everyone sensed something off-kilter. Then Joy delivered the comment that would change the entire mood: sarcastic jab about Southerners being a little behind the rest of the country. The words hung in the air like a misplaced punch. A few audience members let out an uncertain laugh, the kind people give when they're not sure whether a joke is actually funny. But the moment they looked at Reba's face, the laughter stopped. Reba didn't respond at first. Her smile faded slowly, replaced by an expression of calm disbelief. It wasn't anger that filled her eyes. It was disappointment, the kind that cuts deeper than any loud reaction. The co-host shifted uncomfortably, realizing Joy's joke had clearly crossed a line. Joy tried to follow it up with another quip, something about Southern traditions being cute but outdated. But by then, the mood had completely collapsed. The audience whispered. The producers glanced at each other nervously. Even Joy seemed to sense she had gone too far, though she masked it with a tight grin. Reba took a quiet breath. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't fire back. She simply held Joy's gaze with a look that made it clear: Respect had been broken, and she wasn't going to pretend otherwise. Asterisk. The silence that followed was heavy, heavier than any argument. Reba sat still for a moment, processing what had been said. Then, with the kind of composed strength that only comes from years of experience, she reached up and gently removed her microphone. The small gesture shocked the entire room. Joy blinked in surprise. "Reba, are you?" She started, but her voice trailed off as Reba calmly stood from her chair. The co-hosts froze. No one knew what to say or do. The producers behind the camera scrambled, gesturing frantically, unsure whether to cut to commercial or let the scene play out. Reba placed the mic on the table, her movements controlled and deliberate. She looked directly at Joy and said softly but with unmistakable firmness, "I'm not going to sit here while my home and my people are mocked." There was no anger in her tone, only a dignified certainty. Joy attempted to backpedal. "It was just a joke," she insisted, trying to force a laugh. But Reba didn't engage. She didn't argue. She didn't entertain excuses. Instead, she ended the segment herself. "I think we're done here," she said, turning toward the exit with the quiet authority of someone who knew exactly what she stood for. The audience erupted into a mixture of gasps and applause. The set felt frozen in time as Reba walked off stage, leaving behind stunned hosts and a moment that would replay across social media for days. Asterisk, the moment Reba left the stage. The studio descended into a kind of controlled chaos. Producers rushed toward the table, speaking quickly into headsets, while the co-hosts exchanged anxious looks. Joy Behar, visibly shaken, attempted to regain control of the situation. But her forced smile made it clear she knew the incident was spiraling. One co-host attempted to smooth things over with a nervous laugh and a vague statement about differences in humor, but the audience wasn't buying it. Some viewers clapped in support of Reba, while others remained silent, unsure how to react. A few audience members whispered to each other, clearly stunned that a daytime talk show had just experienced a walkout and not a dramatic one. But a calm, powerful exit. Joy tried to continue the show. But the tension lingered like a thick fog. Every sentence she spoke felt strained. Every joke fell flat. The control room finally made the call. Cut to commercial. The screen faded, but the shock remained. During the break, the conversation backstage grew intense. Some staff members defended Joy, insisting she didn't mean harm. Others argued that Reba had every right to walk out. The debate spread quickly through the studio halls. Meanwhile, clips of the moment were already hitting social media. Viewers uploaded shaky phone recordings, captions like "Reba stands up for the South," spreading within minutes. It was clear the situation had grown far beyond a simple an air misstep. It had become a cultural flashpoint. Asterisk, by the time the episode concluded, the internet was in full eruption. Hashtags like hashtag Team Reba, hashtag Southern Pride, and hashtag Respect the South skyrocketed across Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Millions of people weighed in, some defending Joy's humor, but an overwhelming number applauding Reba's dignified response. Entertainment outlets quickly picked up the story. Headlines read, "Reba walks out, talk show tension explodes, and Southern icon takes a stand." Fans praised Reba for handling the moment with class instead of confrontation. Many admired that she didn't shout or escalate, she simply walked away, sending a message louder than any argument. Joy remained quiet at first, offering no official statement. But Reba, later that evening, posted a brief message on social media: "Respect isn't optional. My roots matter, and so do yours." The post went viral instantly. Thousands of comments poured in, many thanking her for speaking up not only for the South, but for anyone whose culture or background had been mocked. The next day, Reba appeared at a concert in Nashville. As she stepped on stage, the crowd cheered louder than ever. She addressed the incident briefly, saying, "Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is simply walk away." The audience erupted in applause. That night, it became clear Reba didn't just leave a show, she sparked a conversation about respect, identity, and standing firm in who you are. Asterisk, if this moment made you pause. If you felt the strength in Reba's quiet walkout, then don't leave without showing your support. Hit that like button to stand with respect, dignity, and the right to defend where you come from. Subscribe for more real, unfiltered moments the mainstream networks won't talk about. The clashes, the walkouts, the conversations that expose the truth behind live television. And now it's your turn. Was Reba right to end the segment? Did Joy's joke cross the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters in this conversation. Turn on the notification bell, because the next big TV moment could break any second, and you'll want to be here first. Asterisk.